pop culture with DJs and singing graffiti art are expressed every day within the inner cities of America and the world. You are not doing hip-hop, you are hip-hop.
Oh, man, I tell you. So I was sitting down reviewing what I wanted to say today because we're continuing our conversation about relationships. Now, last week we talked about identifying if the relationships you have are worth the investment. And we talked about all the relationships across the board, your friends, your family, even your colleagues, right? Your romantic, but all your relationships, are they worth the investment, the time, the energy, the emotions that you put into it? Are they worth it? We have to look at that. But there is a special place for family, which is what I want to talk about today. Before I do that, let me do a couple of little things really quick because I'm trying to, I shouldn't say try, because there is no try. You either doing it, G, or you're not doing it. But here's what I'm doing. I am reminding myself to share that Guuuuurl Listen is available as a podcast on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and you can catch the replay on Indie Soup Media. So there are other places to get a little G in your life. There are other places, and that is where you can do that. So with that, let me play the intro music, and then I'm going to get into our topic. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. It is Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. And if you're hearing that music, that means 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern, and it's time for Guuuuurl Listen. So we're going to talk about some things, but before I do that, I do want to say that this is streaming to LinkedIn as well as YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, we would love it if you would like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we do some fun things here. I mean, I am a handful. Okay, I'm more like buckets, but I'm trying to be modest. That is a try. But it's also Friday, which means it is time for That G is Fire Fridays, where we start here with Guuuuurl Listen, and then we roll over to Indie Soup Media, where we will watch a replay of Guuuuurl Listen, and we are in season 4 of Ladies Listen Up. Season 4. Man. Woo. Now, last week we talked about Master Yoda. You either going to do the work or you not going to do the work. That's where we were. This week, I want to say it's about your dreams and aspirations. I say I want to say because I forget sometimes, it's just to be recording stuff and putting things out, and I just kind of forget. But I do want to say that it's about your dreams and your aspirations. That is what we are discussing Friday. And I know you've noticed, because I can't help myself. So yeah, I got another pair from Glitz Optical. You can book a risk-free consultation. They do have a store in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in Dallas specifically. And now, when you make a purchase, you can now get a free vision test. So not only can you get amazing specs, but you can get your eyes checked too. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that you have the latest, greatest prescription. So what can I tell you? These are just the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? The things that we do. But absolutely love getting my glasses there. And before I get into the conversation, they have this program called New Month, New You. I just found out about it. Because I didn't get it. Like I was in recently and picked up another pair of readers because and they mentioned, well, it's half off. And I thought, why is it half off? I don't remember doing anything special, but okay, because I'm gonna take the discount. Well, it turns out that when you buy your first pair of glasses, if you return within 30 days, you can get a second pair half off. What? Man. Now, y'all know I got a collection. You know I got a collection, but with that kind of deal, you're going to keep me in the store. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Let me get into our topic today. We are talking about you owe your family nothing. You owe them nada. You owe them nothing. And I know this is I'm going to say a semi-sticky topic. It's semi-sticky because people like to talk about family and they love, in my opinion, to bring up that we are blood. So we share DNA. Okay. That does not mean you're family. Now, let me take my time with this one. So I'm coming from a place of some personal experience, but also from hearing other people share their experience as well. And I will say, in regards to women specifically, there is a lot of shaming that happens when it comes to family relationships. A lot of shaming. We've already talked about how women are treated. You know, women are, they're just extra layer of burdens put on our back. But it's a new day, y'all. It's a new day. And I believe people need to understand that when they are speaking about what was and what is now and what may be, they have to take into account the options women had at a certain time. Like I hear these young men romanticize the relationship that their grandmothers, their great grandmothers had with their spouse. They're like, oh, she was around forever and she did this and she did that and she didn't have any options. I mean, unless you really ask her, you really spoke to her and said, hey, if you had a choice, would you have married grandpa? If you had a choice, would you have stayed around with, right? Like, we romanticize things because we have no idea what really went down. And it's a 50-50 in my head. I believe a good number of people actually loved their spouse. They came to love their spouse. But keep in mind, a number of women didn't have the option. In order to get out of their parents' home, they had to be married off to somebody. And that somebody just had to be a guy. Didn't have to be a loving man. Didn't have to be a partner. Didn't have to be a true spouse, just a man. Like, you guys have seen The Color Purple, have we not? Have you read the book? Have we read the book of what was? So you're romanticizing what you saw, but you're on the outside, you're not on the inside. And a lot of shaming comes with family members because they are using this romanticized relationship that they saw between grandma and grandpa. And they're like, you don't do what my grandma used to do, what my grandma did. You don't know what your grandmama did. You don't know what she was thinking. So cut it out. So with that, I say, let's talk about family because it gets really wonky here. You know, you share blood with them. They're your loved ones. And we see tons of images like this where it's the mother, the father, all the babies. We're all huddled up and we're all so in love. Now, my family actually is like that. I'm not going to lie to you. I was chatting with my mother. She said, yeah, I just want to call. You know, I was thinking about you guys, thinking about the kids. You know, and how you guys, you know, are all grown up and have your own kids. And how it's good to have kids who will come to the house and drive you around. And, you know, I'm just happy for you guys. I'm proud of you guys. So, yeah, does it exist? It most certainly does exist. It does. That is not to say that we didn't have some times, that there weren't some knockout, drag out fights. There were a couple. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were a couple, which mother and father did not approve of. But siblings are siblings, which goes to my point. When it comes to relationship, whether you're related or not, but this is specifically for those who are related. Just because we're sister and brother doesn't mean that we're sister and brother. You still have to build that relationship. You still have to work on it. Now, when you're a kid, you don't really know anything. You are coming into your own. Your parents will typically be the guiding light for you in terms of understanding kindness, understanding grace, understanding mercy. Your parents pretty much give that to you. Now, of course, you're in school, so you're watching your teachers do some things too, but a good chunk of it comes from what you see modeled in your household and what you see between your parents and their siblings. It gives you an idea of how you want to interact with your siblings. But every now and then, depending on the age gap, it can get really wonky. Like for us, we are all 3 years apart, just by chance. They didn't plan it. It's just how it worked out. 2 girls, 2 boys, all 3 years apart. And so she had a little bit of break, right? There's a little bit of break in between there. But if you look at the oldest and then the youngest, there's a gap. There is a gap. And, sometimes as siblings come along, you can feel some kind of way. I remember feeling some kind of way. Now, I will say that I didn't take to the normal programming. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. Our mother was telling us to make sure that we cook and clean and do all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know why they're not cooking and cleaning. So yeah, I was a smart aleck person from the get-go. Okay, I was a smart ass. But yes, Gwendolyn was already, kicking down gates and doing stuff because that's just my personality. It was always there. But with your siblings, you still have to build that relationship. It doesn't come with just because you guys are in the same household or that you're close or far apart in age. You have to build that relationship. Now, I want to talk about something that I can't help but notice nowadays. And I say nowadays because I keep going back to how people romanticize relationships and persons. They romanticize who they believe someone to be. There are some families like this, right? We eat, drink, and dance. We're going to get around the table. We're going to do what we do. My auntie on my mama's side, she's going to put together something, right? Her daughters will come and cook. Everybody's out in the backyard. Her son will DJ. We're in the pool. We are having a good old time. I mean, it is a good time. We're just sitting around, talking, laughing, playing cards, whatever. Good time. Dominoes. And even on my dad's side, my auntie will do a fish fry in a second and we'll sit and talk and she'll have wine and, just spending time together. So it can be done. Here comes the part that it gets kind of wonky, is that there are some people who see these images and say, well, why don't I have that in my family? And this is where I talk about we have to be careful of what we covet, right? Of what we theme for. Sometimes you have exactly what you need, want, and deserve in front of you, but it may not come in the packaging that you expected. People talk about family as its only bloodlines, right? The DNA. I wish my sister did this. I wish my mama did that. I wish my dad. Okay. But there are people in your life who are just as big a parent to you than your parents could ever be. There are people in your life who would be the big sister, the little sister, the ride or die brother that you need, even though they're not blood. And we just have to get away from being tied to titles. I get it. And I know that these images, we see them in the commercials. We see them in magazines. And they look great. They're so polished. Everybody's smiling. But they don't show you how much work goes into that. That sometimes you have to have some conversations about some stuff. They don't go into that. It just looks really great and everybody wants it. But I can't help but notice that with the introduction of social media, social networking, there's a lot of, oh, my family don't never do this. Nobody calls you to see if you're doing okay. And no one ever does this. And I wish I had this and this. Everything is put on display. There's this whole woe is me mentality. If that is you, I'm going to try to and I know I just said try, I am going to try to get you to see things differently. Okay? First of all, these devices, that ain't it. That's not it. I find it telling that a number of people who talk about what their family doesn't do, I'm not so sure they do the same thing for their family members. There's this whole, it's about me. It's about me, my feelings, what I'm going through, my woes, but you don't have the capacity or even the want to do the same thing for someone else. There is this whole, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. No one understands. You ain't the only one who got problems. Everybody in this world has problems. Whether you see them or not is a choice. I don't have to see your problems, know that you have it. You're human and you're walking, you got problems. Because there is no perfect life. Everybody got something. All depends on what day it is. We all have something. But there are so many people who take to the device, and specifically like a Facebook, a Twitter, whatever, wherever they can put their emotions on display, because that it's all about me, still wants somebody to be all about them. Oh my God, I feel so bad for you. What? I'm just, oh. Is there anything I can do for you? Oh my God, my heart is just going out. It becomes like an addiction. It really does. I find it telling and concerning, but it's an addiction that you put the most personal things on social media to elicit emotions from other people, because you're not getting it from yourself and you're not getting it from your family members. So I'm going to take to the streets to get somebody to give me the attention, because I'm an attention whore. I'm an attention whore. I need my 15 minutes of fame. Oh my goodness, so-and-so is sick. Please pray for me and my family. Now, I'm not saying that everybody does it for that reason. I'm not. Sometimes you got to be, I don't know, careful of who you ask to pray for you, but that's a different conversation. There are times that when people are like, I just don't know who to reach out to, or you do use the social networks to tell your family, but that's why they have like private family groups so the family knows, and everyone handles their thing differently. I'm not judging it. I'm not judging it at all. But we can't help but notice that there is a lot of attention in there. Like, oh, look at me. Just like the birthday thing. It's like, it's my birthday. Send me money. It's like, well, I don't even know you, kid. Be sending you money like that. I get it, but. So there's a slight addiction here, in my opinion, with fantasizing about what family should be and verbalizing it on social media with other people who are not counselors, who are not doctors, who honestly can't help you. Now, they're going to share their 2 cents, same way I'm sharing my 2 cents. So we can all share. Maybe we put enough together, we'll get $1. Maybe we'll get $2, $3. Who knows? Do I believe it's unhealthy? I believe it's unhealthy. I believe this projection of feelings just out in the world, it is a little unhealthy. This is where that human connection really needs to step in, right? Because if you are all about yourself, you don't understand how to, in my opinion, how to listen. This want for everyone to feel bad for you, to be there whenever you fall, to do all these things, specifically family. But yet, what do you do? Now, we were talking last week about how these relationships need to be reciprocal. Whatever you're putting out is what you get back. Now, that's just, in my opinion, the good old-fashioned karma bank system. You put out good juju comes back to you. You put out janky juju comes back to you. So if you are not living the life that you are fiending over, where exactly are you supposed to get it? Like, help me figure that out. You talk about wanting to do all these things with family. You don't pick up the phone. You don't check on your loved ones. You're not going outside of X, Y, Z to make sure blah, blah, blah happens for somebody else. You get whatever you put out in the world. If you put out negative energy, if you put out, it's all about me and nobody cares about me and no one has helped me, which is BS, by the way, then you get people who have that same mentality. And misery loves company. Misery loves company. Side by side, together in harmony. Yes. Misery loves company. I believe it's unhealthy. You want to talk to people, then talk to people. If you want this family that you are obsessing over, then you need to step up and be what you want to see in the world. You need to be there. Now, I do want to go to a real, I made a comment in there and I want to step on it real quick. Hold up. Let me stop. When people talk about no one has helped me, that's a no. See, this is what I talk about when people say things and they take for granted what is available for them every single day, right? You don't recognize the help because you assume, if this is your mindset, that this is owed to you. You assume that your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your granny, and all these people should be there at your beckoning call because that's what you're accustomed to. And you assume that when you call, they should come running. And then when they don't, you're like, no one ever helps me. Oh, nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about me. Family ain't what family used to be, y'all. Full stop. Can we please stop? See, people don't consider all the blessings that they have. They don't consider that the food in their belly, the opening of a door, the cell phone someone gives you, the clothes they give you, the car ride to the next stop, all these things, that's help. That's help. When a grandparent decides, and let me make sure, hold up, when a grandparent decides to help you with your kids, when your grandmamas, your granddaddies, when the grandparents and great-grandparents decide to help watch your kids, that's help. They don't have to do that. Grandparents don't have to do that. Aunties, uncles, they don't have to do that. Because they're not their kids. These ain't my kids. These ain't my babies. You know, when parents do what they have to do, they have every right to go do their thing. Like, I believe that parents are there to, again, guide their children to the best place possible. Give them the tools that they need. What your child decides to do with it ain't got nothing to do with you. At a certain point, you are not just a product of your beginnings. You are now the culmination of your choices. You are choosing at this point to do the BS that you're doing. And my parents, not once, but twice, changed the locks on their doors when we got old. They were like, get out. Okay, they weren't really like that, but you know, when they became empty nesters, they were real about that. It was like, and we're changing the locks. And then we got a key, and then they changed the locks again. And I was like, I don't believe this. And then, you know, we had to get the key again because Pops became ill. The situation warranted us getting a copy of the key. But they're adults, grown adults. They were adults. They had their date night. They had their own time to go to get their lunch, do their bike riding, do their walking. They have their own life. They don't owe you a lick of their time. And people say, but they're the grandparents. And what's that got to do with it? to do with it. Don't you want to spend time with your niece? Not today. They don't owe you that. They don't owe you any of that. Yeah, they don't do it. Now, I get that there are people right now like, oh yeah, take your kids to the grandparents. That's free childcare. It is not free. Time is not free. And if by chance you have a grandparent, an uncle, an auntie, a friend, or whomever watching your kids, helping you in some form of fashion, I pray you are showing your appreciation, if not with dollars, with something of value to that person. A gift card, a cake, I don't know. Let me get off that soapbox. Let me get off that soapbox and keep it moving. We don't owe our family members anything. We do not. You have a business? Well, great for you. I don't have to support it. It's not my dream. And as a business owner, I meet a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, persons starting something, creatives, who are like, my family never shows up to any of my shows. They don't have to. That's your dream. It's yours, not theirs. It's yours. The only person who's got to support it needs to be you. The only person to believe in it needs to be you. Now, I know, again, you watch these 1980s movies, they will have you believing that all of the parents believed in their kids. And they were in there, that's my boy, that's my baby. Was that the Music Man? Them kids couldn't play a lick of music, but they were at the, that's Sonny. You tell him, Sonny, you play it. Okay. Everybody has their something. But they don't owe you the time. They don't owe you the support. That has to be earned. If you want someone to come to your event, see your art, then, sit down and chat with them. Like my father eventually came around to supporting my photography. Now, at first, when he started asking questions, I just knew that he was judging me because, dramas. But that wasn't the case. He was like, I'm just asking questions. I just want to know more. It's like, oh, okay. But he didn't owe me that. I didn't expect it either. He didn't owe it to me. So keep that in mind. Your family doesn't owe you anything. They do not. Even if you're on hard times, I know somebody will hate me for this, but they don't owe you a place to stay. They don't owe you money. They don't. My parents helped me out during my hard times. They have helped out each of my siblings during some hard times in the ways that we needed assistance. Could have been money, could have been a vehicle, could have been anything, but it was what we needed. So I want to make sure that's clear, because each of your kids, your family members, are their own person. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. But if your family member can't help you, that's what it is. You know how, like my mother would say, if somebody asks for money and you can't afford to give it up, like you don't want to lose it, then just say no. Because whenever you give money away, understand it's not coming back. And if you need it back, to say, you know what, I don't have it. Or if you no longer want to keep giving this person money, just say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. It's not a guarantee. We don't have to. We can say, you know what, I don't have it, or the answer is no. And I know some of us may have some loved ones who have borrowed money. I get it back to you next Friday. 5 Fridays later, you're like, hey, can I borrow? It's like, you already are in the negative over here. Like, what's going on? And didn't I see you doing this? Now, I know people like, it's not my place to judge how you use the money, but at a certain point, if you keep asking me for money and yet you're doing things that don't make sense with yours, then yeah, I get a chance to say, I don't want to invest in this business anymore. Your foolishness. I can say no to that. So yes, we can say no to that. Here's my point to all of this. We got to be thankful. Thankful of the family members that we have, thankful of the friends, the persons in our lives that are family. They may not be packaged the way you want them to be. You may not be sharing blood, but they are family. Be thankful for the help you receive every day. That could be, yes, I can pick up your kid. That could be, hey, here's $5. Yes, I will pick you up, take you to work. It could be, hey, here's some extra clothes. Whatever it is, be thankful for what you are receiving. And recognize that nobody gets through this world by themselves. People say, I did it by myself. Those are lies, because you had to have a customer, another person who believed in your dream to help you make that first sale, who went out and spread the good word about your business. That's help. You may not think of it as such, but trust, it's help. Choose to be grateful. Look at what you have around you. Choose to be grateful for the people you have in your life, and put the investment in those who are investing in you. Again, you need to put out some good juju to get some good juju. So if you're just worried about yourself and you're not helping anyone else, yeah, you're not going to get it. You need to do the same for someone else if that's what you want to receive. We got a lot of takers nowadays, very few givers, a lot of takers. That's another discussion, I'm sure, for another day. I'll put it on the list. Choose you. We got a lot of doors here, people, but choose you first. If somebody wants to give you a hard time, let them give them a hard time. Okay, keep giving. It's all right. It's going to be okay. I'm still choosing me, though. I'm still putting my mask on first. And I like to use the financial example of this because some people will put themselves into debt behind a loved one just because you share DNA. Cut it out. This message is for you. Stop being the enabler. And this is not a tough love thing. This is not it, because love is not tough. It doesn't have to be. No. Love is love. It's unconditional. But just because it's unconditional does not mean that I have to co-sign all of your BS. That it does not mean that. It does not mean that I have to put myself on empty for you. That is a no. I can still choose myself and still love you unconditionally. Both things can be true. Keep that in mind when you are going out into these streets moving forward. So a couple of things real quick as we wrap this up. I do want to say again, get on that GRH Jack email list. I have not sent the email for this month. I'm a little behind, not gonna lie to you. We're a little behind, but I only really do one a month anyway, so it's okay. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna be fine. I also want to say that we have Small Biz Bites. It is back. Small Biz Bites is back, and we have Adriana coming in. She is from the Lazy Millennial. She will be talking about 3 factors to consider before scaling your business. If you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking about scaling, she's going to get into that. She will also discuss the difference between growth and scaling. They are not the same thing. And because I really like putting stuff out into the universe and talking about what's coming up, we have 𝐂𝐫𝐞𝐚, my dinner partner. She's going to come up and she's going to help me talk about imposter syndrome, because I don't believe in it. It don't exist. I'm going to give you a really good reason why. Trust me. But that's going to be at the end of the month, end of April. We'll be talking about that here on Guuuuurl Listen. So before I let you guys go, you already know where I want to go, because I do enjoy some really great shows, a lot of great content out there. And one of them happens to be the conference call.
Hello, and this is the recap show. My name is Chris Edwards, and I'm here with my other 2 co-hosts.
I'm Ronald. TJ.
Yeah, and we do a recap show every week for Drag Race. We'd love for you to like our videos, subscribe, and to hit the notification button so you can get notified every time we drop new videos. Every week we bring you lots of fun commentary and our take on what Drag Race is. So just keep it locked here on the conference call every week. We drop new videos every Monday at noon. See you guys then.
Bye.
I swear the personalities are something amazing. So with that, let me also tell you that because it is the month of April and sometime it snows, we are doing 21% off at the Veiled Vault. You know, all things purple. It's all things purple this month. And so recognizing that Prince passed away on April 21st, we have 21% off all the things in the Veil Vault, and there are some new items coming. So now be the time to get what you need to get. Now is that time. I swear. So enjoy the rest of this beautiful week. Well, the weekend's about to start because it's Friday. The week is about to start. Have a good weekend is what we're trying to say there. And, sit down and think about who's in your life that you may need to wrangle in or let go. Until then, see you next week. Hey, it's G. Thank you for watching this episode of Guuuuurl Listen. Be sure to catch me every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And while you're here, I cordially invite you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you all next week.